What up? What up? What up? It's Ibn Webb, Quran, and some here. This official thanks thing we got going on here. Um, Another Essex County all day edition here. I'm excited about this. As I always say, I'm excited about all of them. Got a hidden gem here. It wasn't that hidden because if I knew about him, he must not have been that hidden. But a spectacular athlete, great man. Looking forward to just getting Terrance on the horn and just having a conversation, what have you here. So like I said, definitely looking forward to this as well. So let's just see how this go down. All right, we good money then. Okay. Hey, what's up, man? How you?
I'm good, man.
Good, man. I appreciate this, man. I know, I was like tracking you down here, man. So I appreciate just taking time out. Like, let me just give this man some airtime real quick. So I appreciate the solid.
No problem, yo. Hey, I'm more than thrilled to actually be doing it, man.
That's cool, man. That's cool, man. And I know, just obviously, if you've seen some of them, or just a kind of quick glimpse, like I said, just something I just wanted to do, man. Like with family initially, obviously, spilled over to sports and all this other stuff here, man. And I just love Jersey, man. That's just me. I'm home, Essex County in particular, man. So it's just kind of like people I've heard about, whatever the case is, man. Like just always just pay homage. And like I said, I'm very grateful. Like I said, you just taking time out here. So like I said, before we even kind of get going, man, just hopefully you and your family, everybody good. You know what I mean? With everything going on, man. I know this world is a little crazy, man. So hopefully you guys are good.
Yeah, absolutely, man. And thankfully, no one's, we all pretty much survived or got through. And most of my family, we all vaccinated. So, I'm not one of those anti-vaxxers, man. As soon as I had it, I was able to get it. I ran out and got it. I don't know. Can you see that over my shoulder right there?
I see. Yeah, I see the Talmadge L Hill Field House. Yes. Where we at there? Like where you at right about now?
The beautiful campus of the national treasure, Morgan State University, man.
Okay. Nah, good stuff, man.
Yeah, the rain stopped long enough for me to get outside because I was like, man, I want to do it from the house because it was pouring. And then the sun broke out. I was like, let me just go down to the spot. And then all of a sudden they want to cut the grass. I don't know if you can hear that in the background too.
Actually, not really. Actually, we good. It ain't that bad. So you down to B-more.
Yeah.
Nah, that's cool, man. I was just down there probably a couple of years ago. My little cousin graduated, so I was up in the stadium. Actually, it was interesting because it was Elijah Cummings. He's the keynote speaker. I know he just recently passed, like the last
big guy. He got a building on this campus named after him.
Yeah. So that was pretty powerful for me to be down there obviously to see him and everything else.
Yeah,
so good stuff, man. So obviously me take you back up 95 a little bit. Yeah. So what are you originally from North or like where you from?
Yeah, born in Beth Israel Hospital, man.
Same here on Lyons Avenue. Same here.
Yep. Born and raised. Lived all over Newark, man. And between EO, Newark, Irvington, I lived everywhere, man. We moved every 6 months, man.
Okay. Big family, just you or you any other siblings?
So I got a brother. My younger brother Tyrese.
Okay.
We played ball at Weekway. He used to play for the small fry West Side team when they won 4 straight titles.
Okay.
Those guards on that team, he played with them. And then my sister went to Shabazz.
Okay.
Tamika, she went to Shabazz, graduated from there.
Oh, so she played with did she play ball there or she just went to school?
She didn't play ball, but we played. I remember playing Shabazz one year and I ain't hear the end of it when they whooped our butts. So, I was in the 10th grade.
I hear you.
Actually, my zone high school if I wouldn't have went to university.
Oh, Shabazz would have been?
Yeah.
Okay. Now you
life would have turned out if I
Yeah, you just never know, man. But play the cards we dealt, or every now and then we get a chance to change them around, man. But things is cool, man. Like speaking of ball and all that, man. When did you get started? Like just playing around the way growing up, or like
how the crazy thing is the sports stuff started. Like I always played some type of sport. Either it was gonna be baseball, football, something. And then I lived on Hillside Avenue, like over by Irvin Turner, Hillside Avenue,
right
from Shabazz when I was in like the 5th grade, 6th grade, 7th grade, you know what I'm saying? 7th grade, 8th grade, 9th grade. So those years of being around there, very sports heavy neighborhood, man. Like everybody plays sports around here. I don't know if you know like Al Tariq White, he was a football player.
Yeah, and then he went over to William Patterson. Yeah.
White, we all grew up on that same block right there, on Hillside Avenue.
Okay.
So it was mainly like we all played neighborhood football. Some people play organized. I played a little bit of Little League, but it was mainly unorganized baseball. I technically did not start playing basketball till 8th grade.
Okay. Is that because you were tall, or they made you play because you were tall, or what have you just got an interest for it?
So what happened was, I used to be in a house. So you remember back in the day, you really only had like 5 channels, like that was pretty much.
Oh yeah.
So the ACC and the Big East would be on TV on Saturdays, and was it Saturdays and Sundays or all day Saturday? I don't know, but I used to be in the house just watching St. John's and watching Georgetown, like, and I never went outside on the weekends because I was in the house watching basketball. So I was either watching Jordan in the pro game. It was Sundays the pros came on, and Saturdays it was college. So Saturday and Sunday, I literally was sitting in front of the TV like all day. My mother came one day. She had this rubber ball, like a Kevin McHale. I didn't even know who the hell Kevin McHale was, right? But she brings this rubber ball in the house, and she throws it to me and said, "Boy, take your ass outside." And that's literally how I started playing basketball.
Mom knows best. Yeah, mom knows best, right?
Told me go outside because she saw me watching it all the time. So she went and bought me a ball, threw it to me, and told me go outside. And then I never put it down from that day.
Where was you playing at? I mean, as far as playgrounds, or would you run around to?
Ripple Field. Over there,
okay.
before they put the football field over there.
Okay.
So Ripple Field was a mess back in them days. Like, it was glass on the court, and it was a mess. So, but they had a hoop up there, bent down hoop. So I could only play by myself because I was terrible. So I would go out there, shoot around when it's raining or snowing by myself. And then if somebody came and they needed an extra person, they would be like, yeah, come on, man. Okay. And they would pick me up, and I still was terrible 8th grade, but that's when I literally started playing.
Nah, that's good stuff, man. And you mentioned you get me nostalgic with the playing in the rain and glass, everything on it. Yeah, nah, we just played, man. We didn't care about the elements. We just played.
My fingers used to be frostbit, all that.
Absolutely.
I loved it so much that I would go out there every day. Like most times by myself, because again, nobody wanted to play with me at that time.
Yeah, but obviously that soon changed down the road there, man. But as far as high school, speaking of, I know you talked about it for a second, how you would have went to Shabazz if you stayed in that district. But what was your thought on going to university? Like, what was behind that?
So, the crazy thing is, okay, so when I went to Project Link, so that was where, and I played in that St. Rocco League.
Okay.
8th grade year, that was my baptism by fire. I was like, man, that was like on Saturdays at St. Rocco's, it was like the place to be. It was like standing room only. You couldn't get in there. And so that's when I was like, all right, well, I could probably do this thing. I wasn't always 6'5", so at that time I probably was like maybe 5'9". I wasn't that tall. So we would be playing in that St. Rocco leagues, and everybody would be saying what schools they're going to, Okay. So I never thought about it. I thought I was going to Shabazz. I never really thought about it, but I was a gifted and talented student, at Project Link. So all the people that played there were going to like science, or they were going somewhere that was fancy. So I visited, believe it or not, St. Benedict's.
Benedict's, okay.
And I could not wrap my brain around just being at an all boys school. I'm like, yo, I was
man, I hear you. I hear you.
So I visited Benedict's, science, university, Newark Tech. It was like, it came down to all of that. But I wasn't really even thinking about the sports aspect of it. You know what I'm saying? Like, I don't know why I didn't think like, because university didn't really have a good team or anything like that. So, but in my mind, I was like, I can go there and play.
Right, absolutely.
Back in those days. So it literally came down to university and science.
Okay.
And Shabazz was my third choice. But I was thinking to myself, I would never get to play at Shabazz at that time. So I pick university.
So we get the university, man. Just how was it? I mean, again, obviously it's people from all over North or what have you, man. Like, how was that adjustment?
Well, the work was, I ain't gonna say, the work was hard. Okay, so you get there and everybody was like so academically focused. And so I go in the gym, the first time I'm thinking, all right, it's university. I gotta be able to, play here.
Mm-hmm.
And they got this guy named Herman Austin walking around the building.
Yeah.
And Derek Bobby was there.
Okay, yeah.
Turner was there. I'm like, yo, they were like grown men. I'm like, yo, I may not play here either. And so the players were good, man. Day one, I walked in there, it was baptism by fire, man. I realized I had a hill to climb to be good enough to play there too.
Mm-hmm.
So I was freshman year, I was on varsity, but I didn't play. I got, a couple of minutes here and there, but like I literally was on the JV.
Okay. Now you start growing. So when that growth spurt hits you?
And so I got to university, I think over that summer, when I got there, I was only 6 feet.
Okay.
So, that's tall for a ninth grade. I was one of those kids that were younger than everybody else. Like
Mm-hmm.
I literally graduated at 17. So I was always like a few months behind everybody. So I was 13 when I started at university, but I was 6 feet tall.
Okay.
And then my JV coach, he used to laugh at me, like when I became a good player, he was like, man, damn, just think I almost cut your ass because that tryout, I didn't make a layup.
Yeah.
He almost cut me freshman year. So, but I'm gonna tell you, just being there, I think because it was a small school and I was used to going to small schools, it was a perfect fit for me.
Nah, it's good stuff, man. And I know now back then, as far as before, like your freshman and like your early years, like what conference was y'all in? Like who were y'all playing back then? Because I know y'all eventually switched over. Was it because you wasn't in the city league? Because I think that disbanded. I think around then. So who y'all playing?
We were independent for them first few years when I was there, so we were able to play whoever.
Okay.
The sad part about that is we didn't qualify for the county tournament the first few years because because of the way we played. So we never played in the county tournament until my last year.
Okay.
And so yeah, we were independent, and we got in the Colonial Hills Conference that last year.
Yeah. No, and obviously I remember that just because me going to Immaculate. So that's when I got to witness you and everything else there. But before we even get to that last year, man, did you, as far as barely making the team and all this other stuff, man, did you start trying to just get around like AAU circuits and all that other stuff? Did you try to? Okay.
So I think it might have been D-Bob, Derek Bob, who told me about the Y.
Okay.
8th grade year.
Mm-hmm.
And so I went down there, and I think I saw a little ad in the paper, and they were telling us, like, back then you actually read the papers.
Right. Yeah.
So it was like a little tiny ad in the corner of the sports section that was like, tryouts or whatever at the Y. Man, I was terrified, bro. So that was after freshman year. It still wasn't that good. Like, you know what I mean? There was only 1 year in.
Mm-hmm.
And so, but I played every day. Like I said, from the time I picked the ball up through college, I touched the ball every single day.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? People used to call me Minute out there on the playground. Yeah, I was like, yeah, that's because I was tall and couldn't play.
Mm-hmm.
So I picked up a ball every day. So I went down to the Y and tried out. And my first year at the Y, my squad, we won the mayor's tournament that year. I had Roger Rose on my team.
Okay.
It was Sul Sharif on my team. It was me. We played in the mayor's tournament. I think we played St. Rocco's summer team.
Okay.
So they had all the guards. I think we blocked their first 10. They couldn't get a shot off because all of us was like 6'2" across the board.
Yeah.
The first 10 shots of the game. We ended up winning the mayor's tournament, but that was my first. I made that team probably because I was tall. I don't think I made it because I was good, but and then we end up playing that summer together.
Now, where your confidence as far as it starts to grow, I'm assuming just being around those guys like, damn, though, you know what? I can actually play. just putting in the work? Like, when does it start clicking for you? Like, you know what? I'm all right. I can play with these guys.
The crazy thing is, okay, so this is another story that I think I might have told Eric George, Tate George's brother.
Okay.
So one day at the Y before one of our practices, I used to always get there early because nobody was there. So I would be in the gym shooting by myself, and Tate George was in there.
Mm-hmm.
He came over to me at that time. He came over to me. I wasn't really even thinking about college and none of that kind of stuff. It doesn't. I'm 14, 15. Really wasn't crossing my mind like that.
Mm-hmm.
And he was like telling me that I really need to start working on my guard skills. Like, you're probably gonna be a guard, because I'm looking at him. He's like, I'm a point guard. He was like 6'5" at the time. I'm like, you a point guard? Like,
yeah.
So Tate George was really the person. The conversation that him and I had in the gym that day. He was the one that told me that I need to work on stuff. I need to work out every day. That I'm probably gonna play small forward or guard in college and all that. He's the one that got me started to think about college, and that was 10th grade. Grade year. That's when I started being like, okay. And then when I came back to school that 10th grade year, I started varsity.
Mm-hmm.
And then that's when I started being like, yeah, I think I'm good until we play Shabazz. And then I was like, well, I probably need some more work.
Yeah. Nah, that was always a good litmus test for folks and us. But obviously that's kind of ill, man. Just as far as you just seeing Tate George up in there, and he building with you and just hitting you with some jewels early on, and you just realize, man, things just start snowballing after that.
Crazy thing is, he told me I probably need to play at a better school. Now this is going to probably shock a lot of people, but I went to Clifford. I transferred from university and went to Clifford Scott for 1 week.
Okay, really?
And then it fell through because the person whose address I was using told on us because something happened or whatever.
Wait. So the person's address you was using wound up ratting on you?
Ratted me out, and then I ended up. University took me back. I transferred back to university.
Okay.
They took me back. But I always tell Keith Roberts, I'm like, yo, that squad, because they had Amika, they had
Amika, yeah.
And I would have been at that school.
Mm-hmm.
So I'm thinking we definitely would have won a couple state champions, like a couple of tournament of champions. If I was there. But I was there for 1 week.
That's crazy, man. And imagine now, man, like kids going all over they going to like four high schools, So you get back, and obviously this gets rolling for you. I mean, even senior year, like obviously in the Colonial Hills, the Immaculates. I mean, so I know it's just kind of like you're like, damn, I done played these North schools. Now I'm playing like some of these suburban schools. This might be a walk in the park for me.
Yeah, so like we played in Newark schools, the city schools. Like for some reason, we just could never beat Newark Tech. Those guys, like, mm-hmm. I mean, the games would be going to overtime, like,
yeah.
So it still was a level that we just couldn't get to. Like my junior year,
mm-hmm.
we seemed to always be like just a little bit short. And so when Rasul ended up getting hurt, and I think if he wouldn't have got hurt that junior year going into senior year, I think we would have been I think we would have did a lot better.
Mm-hmm.
He was one of our top scorers, and he ended up tearing his ACL. But the way I started thinking about it was, I played against everybody in the summertime.
Yeah,
you know what I mean. So I felt like when we got back to school, I felt like I shouldn't be fearing nobody.
Right.
I mean, I see these guys in the summer. I could play against anybody, and then I always started, so I didn't worry about people beating me out. So I felt like I was always one of the better players,
mm-hmm.
Wherever I was playing.
Yeah, nah, and I think you're exactly right, man. And so things get going. How'd y'all do that last year? I mean, if you recall, I know we're going back some time, but you guys did fairly well, I believe.
Yeah, so senior year, we came in preseason, first time ever in the school history. They had us on the list of top, I want to say we were number 8 coming in for the Essex County, which is big. When that man, I cut that thing out. Because our school was nowhere. Nobody, when I got there, everybody laughed at University. Like that was like the running joke that the school was soft. We ain't had no players. We never won.
Mm-hmm.
So to take us from that whole mindset that people had about university to being like we top 10 in the county.
Yeah.
Like county was bigger than anything else to me.
I hear you. I hear you.
If you top 10 team in the county, that's big.
Mm-hmm.
So we came out preseason ranked in the top 10. And that was like huge. Mm-hmm. So it's like expectations for the first time. You know what I mean? Yeah. We couldn't speak up on nobody.
That's right.
And we got everybody's best game. So we ended up winning. I want to say we went 20-6 senior year.
Okay.
We lost to 3 teams. 2 of them, Montclair Immaculate.
Immaculate, right.
Newark Tech. And then we lost to I want to say Whippany Park. We shouldn't have lost to a team, but one of them.
Yeah, I must have fell asleep that day. I must have fell asleep. Yeah.
Walking. Hey, I don't know. It was a long day. I don't know what happened. But yeah, so my senior year, we ended up losing to Newark Tech 3 times. County, states, regular season.
Mm-hmm.
And we lost to Immaculate twice, 2 close games. And then we beat them. We beat them in the county tournament that year.
Yeah. Nah, I know. I remember. I mean, I think you got me by 2 years, so I probably like sophomore. You know, what have you. Yes, I think you got me by a couple of years. That's pretty cool, man. Just kind of thinking about, to your point there, the university necessarily not, being recognized early on to being ranked in the county. And I hear you, man. Like those things came out every week, like them little rankings. It's kind of like it meant something. It definitely meant something, man. So you get the accolades and stuff start coming in, man. Like the all conferences. Then you pop up, first team all county there. How did that feel? Just kind of the work put in to culminate to that.
I'm gonna tell you, man, because like you come from a school that got Herman. Like I was the first person I think at university to make all county. Because remember I said they couldn't participate. Mm-hmm. Herman's probably the best player in high school that I've seen. So I know he would have been first team all county. I couldn't even understand why he wasn't all state. The guy averaged 30 points a game in high school. They didn't win anything. Mm-hmm. So I was the first player at university to get any of those type of accolades. So I was player of the year in the Colonial Hills Conference. Mm-hmm. Then I got first team all county.
Yeah.
And I think second team all state in the group, which I probably should have been first. I think I got robbed, but that's a whole nother podcast.
Yeah.
So end up being second team all state in the group. Listen, I was ecstatic because, like I said, when that paper came out,
I
was in there. I remember taking a picture, but I thought it was for something else.
Oh, you didn't even know what it was for?
Nah, I thought it was because I was in the All-Star game or whatever. I don't even know how that picture came about. And then when it came in, I think Miss Hewitt, my gym teacher, brought the paper in.
Okay.
And I saw me in there. And obviously I ran out and got a copy or 2, but
or 3, yeah.
I felt like it validated the work. Like nobody can say that I didn't work for it. Like I wasn't no what do they call those blue chip type of players? Like I literally had to earn and scrap for every single thing I got. Mm-hmm. So I felt like I earned it.
Mm-hmm. Now who was on that first team with you? If it was it?
Yeah, so it was Eric Williams, obviously.
Okay.
It was Ira Bowman, Keith Roberts.
And Tariq, right? Was it Tariq?
Tariq Goodman, and then me.
Okay. Yeah. Solid, man. That's a mean 5, man. That's a mean 5. Yeah.
And that's why I always tell people all the time, I'm like, yo, the talent in Essex County is so spread out. These other programs will win their state championship. I'm like, if you put Newark's team, like even Roger was from Newark, but would play St. Anthony. You know what I'm saying? Like if you put Newark's teams together, like 10 players, nobody in the state of New Jersey would beat those teams. Like or Newark or Essex County, like you put a good team together, they would win the tournament of champions every year to me. Mm-hmm. But it's so spread out that you never find out,
Now, how was it as far as obviously being on that all county team, man? You get any flack from folks talking about, man, you play at university, you had a Group 1 school, blah, 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 blah. Yeah, I mean, did you any feedback, any slack from that?
All the time. So, everywhere I went to play and all that stuff, a lot of people think Tut should have beat me out. Tut was a good player, so I don't have like I wasn't beefing with any individual players, but there were people who thought I shouldn't have been on there.
Mm-hmm.
But my question to them is, if I make the North South team, right? There's 20,
right,
24 players on the team,
mm-hmm.
and I start, doesn't that make me a top 15? Because you know some people played in the
bigger games, the McDonald's and all that stuff.
Yeah. So I'm like, that don't make me a top 15 player? Like,
mm-hmm.
what's the, you know what I'm saying? They didn't give me a starting spot at North
That's right.
South.
That's right.
I had to go take it. And they told me all those other players was better than me in North South. Sean Rooney's and all them type of players.
Mm-hmm.
But I outplayed them everywhere we went. Yeah. So, again, no one gave me anything. Like, I go in there with the mindset that I'm going to earn everything that I get.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? So, if people can say what they want. Like I said, I've never not started, no matter what environment, any all-star, any of that.
Mm-hmm.
So, and me and Eric, when we actually won that game, that North-South game, because they couldn't handle me and Eric in there.
Yeah. Now, even with that being said, man, you had some decisions, some choices. How was it with the whole college process, man? Obviously, being at university, academically, you solid just being there. But as far as with everything else,
I ain't even gonna lie to you, man. That school was hard.
yeah. Now, my cousins, I had some cousins that went through this, so I'm aware of it.
Yeah, so I was like, all right, what we got to make? I couldn't even understand how people was prop 48s. I'm like, I need a C and a 700. I'm like, yeah, I think I can get that. So, to be honest with you, man, no one believed the amount of letters. Like, I literally had 400 letters in my drawer. You know what I'm saying? Like, a lot of the top 25 Division II schools, like, going to sophomore, junior year, were recruiting me. Okay. Then it started to change that junior year summer when I went to Nike Top 100 and Prep Star. I went to all camps that summer.
You did wind up your junior to senior year. You went to going, okay.
And then that's when I started getting all the D1s, like more to D. I had the whole MEAC. I had the whole SWAC. I had all of that. But then that's when I started getting other schools looking at me. Mm-hmm. And I would have 300 or 400 letters in the drawer, man. And then getting calls every night. And then I started to kind of narrow down, you know, where I wanted to play. And a lot of it was based on, because at that time you still think you're gonna play some type of pro ball. I don't care who you are. If you play basketball, you like, man, I might be able to go overseas. So I knew I needed somewhere to go play where they was gonna let me play out on the perimeter. Okay. A lot of teams was like, oh, we'll put 20 pounds on you. You could be a power forward. I'm like, I'm 6'5", man. I'm not. Yeah. It's like Barkley. You know what I'm saying? Mm-hmm. Like, so those schools I would immediately put to the side. Okay. And then the schools that would say, you know, we're gonna let you play out, you know, on the wing. Those are the schools I, you know, put on my list. But yeah, I went on a few visits.
Where'd you go? What visits you went
on? I went to Monmouth. I went to Wagner. I went to LIU. I went to, where else did I go? Did I go to St. Francis? I forget. It was a couple of other visits that I ended up going on. Okay. And then I picked Wagner because, again, I thought I could go there and play right away.
And plus, you wasn't too far from the crib, so that helped out. People wanted to come see you play.
Yeah, it probably wasn't a good thing.
Yeah. It could go either way.
Yeah, I probably needed to be a little further right away.
Mm-hmm. So you get over there, Staten Island, you get over to Wagner, man. Just how was it, man? Just that whole high school to college, like socially, basketball wise. Just how was it for you, man?
I mean, well, socially it was tough because I gotta admit, you know, you come from Newark. The diversity is different from being at a private school in New York. You know what I mean? Like that school was like Princeton level in terms of like tuition and prestige. Right. So it was like, whoa, totally different. It was night and day. So it took the adjustment on the social aspect was rough for me. Me being a city boy, it was like taking a lion out of the cage and putting him in a chandelier shop. You know what I mean? Yeah. It was a lot. Yeah. So I struggled with that. But then also the transition, you know, I got there. Remember, I was 17 when I got stepped foot on campus. Mm-hmm. and you walk in the gym and it's Wagner, you're like, oh, I should be able to play at Wagner. And then there's grown men in that gym.
Yeah.
And so physically, and I was still like a $180 maybe. I was a skinny dude, man.
Mm-hmm.
And so just the workout regimen, and again, I was at Wagner, not at North Carolina. We had Wagner, and then you still had to go to the gym and lift weight. You had 2 a days. Right. You had to run. You had to get your miles in. Mm-hmm. So that adjustment to that regimented, practice and getting yourself ready to play was tough, man.
Yeah. So how'd you do as far as just getting in, like, freshman year? Did you wind up playing some, or you were just watching and learning? What were we doing?
The crazy thing is, I probably played. It probably ended up averaging maybe 15 minutes a game as a freshman, but I still thought I should have played more. No one thinks they should play less.
Like, of course.
And what I didn't realize is I still had a lot of learning to do, because I went from, I played a lot of power forward. Like AAU season, I play a lot of power forward, but during high school season, I'm at 5 and I'm 6'5". So when it was time to play college, I had to go and chase Billy Owens around, so. Yeah. You know what I'm saying? Like pros were playing out on the perimeter. I had to guard everybody's leading scorer every night, because there was usually a 2 or 3, and it was like I just didn't have a whole lot of understanding of how to play out on the perimeter, because I just basically played inside most of my high school career. So that whole learning process was tough. But I played the 2, the 3, and the 4 at Wagner, so I was able to get minutes.
Okay. Now, as far as just playing team-wise, you guys, how are you guys as far as a team?
So we ended up losing our best player, Monty. He got kicked off the team or whatever happened. So we only won like 4 games that year. He got kicked off early. Monty, who went to St. Anthony's, he was the lead. He was like the second leading scorer in the conference when something happened and they kicked him off the team. I probably would have played less if he was there, because he was good.
Yeah.
And then we didn't win a whole lot of games that first year.
Okay.
And so I don't know why I wanted it. I felt like I needed to get a different scenery. But I do have to thank Matt Brady. He was the guy. Matt Brady is at Maryland now. He's like their director of player development. He was the guy that worked with me every single day on becoming a perimeter player. Mm-hmm. And that guy, he was phenomenal. So he didn't want me to leave, but I felt like I needed to go somewhere different socially. I wasn't thriving there socially.
Okay. So that changed. So what happens with that change?
Well, came down to Morgan, because Morgan had recruited me, and I had Ed Butler. I don't know if you know Ed Butler.
Yeah, he's the Orange Godfather, man.
Ed Butler was my guy so I had him call around. I was like, call some of the schools that offered me when I had already committed. It was a few schools that came late.
Okay.
And he called Morgan up for me, and they had a spot for me. So I came down. But honestly, they didn't know what they would get when I came down here. They didn't realize that I was like, they didn't realize what they would get. Yeah. I was probably totally different from what they saw, because I had a year under my belt at Wagner. Mm-hmm. So I was a totally different player from what they saw in that summer league when they was trying to recruit me. So
I was just asking, as far as correct me if I'm wrong, the whole transfer thing, did you have to sit out a year, or you came right in and played?
Nah, I had to sit out. So what ended up happening was, I came down, ended up having to sit out a year, which probably wasn't that good for me, because I was getting in all kinds of trouble. So that's another podcast.
Yeah. It's another story. Yeah.
I had to sit out for a year, and then I ended up getting hurt and had to end up sitting out 2 years. So, I couldn't even play the next year that I got hurt.
Mm-hmm. Now, ultimately, you do get on the court, correct?
Yeah. 90, I want to say 93, 94, or 94, 95. One of those years.
How was that experience, man? Just out there playing, you're in historically black college, everything, man. Just how was it just playing?
I'm gonna tell you, man. It used to be, this field house behind me used to be rocking, man. So we would play Howard University or Compton State or like any of our rivals, and it would be filled to the gills. Be a DJ in there, there'd be a band.
Absolutely.
I mean, dancing. It was great. It would be packed all the way to the ceiling. So you can see how tall the building is. You can get 5,000 people in there. And that thing used to be packed. It was probably one of the best experiences I've ever had in terms of just environment and everything else.
No, I'm sure, man. And obviously I'm sure along your way you ran across some Jersey heads that played on other teams, out there. I think Al went to Coppin State too. Did you run Alan Watson, that ring a bell?
Yeah, Alan Watson, but it must have been, he's a lot younger than me. I ain't gonna say
he's my age, really. Yeah. He's my grade. Yeah, so we're about 2 years underneath you. But that still had to be great, man. Like you mentioned, the atmosphere and that probably is nothing like it, man. And I'm sure.
No doubt.
I'm sure.
I wouldn't trade it. I wouldn't trade it. And Morgan played a very aggressive schedule because it was a lot about that money back in them days. So we played at Georgetown. I played against Allen Iverson, Joe Smith. Went to Maryland. I played against all those guys, man.
Yeah,
unfortunately.
Nah. Plus the experience. I mean, so you out in the wing playing these guys, man. So, but again, stuff you live with you the rest of your life, man. These memories, man. So, as your senior year and all that stuff, man. I remember you just saying early on that you was thinking overseas and all. Was that stuff starting to sink in? You starting to think about that? Yeah, when you were done, or your mind changed?
So when I was playing in the pro-ams down here in Baltimore, probably when I was that time I was sitting out, I had people trying to get my ear about going overseas even then, because like my game was so more advanced and athletically. I was way, I was pro athletic wise. I probably had pro athleticism. My game was still growing because I was still young, and I was just, I had just been playing at a high level out on the perimeter for only those couple of years. Basically learning all of that from Wagner. So there was people that I was playing. They were like, "Yo, why you even like Keith Booth, who went to Dunbar, went to the Chicago Bulls." Those guys would see me playing and be like, "Yo, why are you even at Morgan?" They couldn't understand how I got there. And I'm like, I didn't always have perimeter skills, so I didn't. Nobody saw me as a perimeter player when they were recruiting me. So I ended up here. You know what I mean? But again, I don't regret it. And it wasn't until I got hurt that I stopped thinking about it. I was only thinking, that's all I was thinking about up until that point when I got hurt again. You know what I'm saying? I was only thinking I was going to be a pro. That was my everyday thought process. And then I got hurt, and then it was like the game could be taken away from me that quick.
Right.
And then that's when I thought to myself, I gotta balance this out. You know what I mean? So I didn't go as hard thinking that I was going to be a pro, but I still was good enough to start and do all that stuff. So
yeah, you still made it work for you. So you transitioned from playing ball. What do you start doing with yourself as far as your life, man? What direction you start heading?
So I got out in the work world. Came out. So when I originally came out, I didn't finish up my degree right away. So I ended up having to go back. So you figure around 96, I came out of Morgan the first time. And I ended up started working at Feli, the clothing company, the sneaker company.
Right.
And then so from there, I was always been in corporate. I think I worked for 5 Fortune 500 companies since then, mainly in sales. I ended up going back to complete my degree in 2003. So I've been doing sales for 20 years.
Okay.
And then right now I'm actually doing my own business, some small business consulting and coaching. I coach girls basketball, AAU. So that's what I'm doing now.
How's that been from player to coach? Man, I know it's been a gap since you really played competitively, but how's the coaching life?
I mean, it's up and down, because it's a different era. And I'm coaching girls on top of that. So I end up getting into girls basketball because I had 2 daughters.
Okay.
So now they all done playing. So I end up still, staying with girls basketball. But it's a different era. These kids are a little different. They're a little more comfortable than we used to be. So yeah, it's a little different era. But I enjoy it because, I tell people all the time, I'm in love with the process. Like when you see somebody go from one state like how they play or what their mindset, and then they actually get a scholarship or something like that, then it's like very, very gratifying. So that's mainly what I do. Why I do it.
Nah, it's good stuff. What are you coaching a certain age, like a 17 and under, or are you coaching the younger females, or?
Yeah, I'm coaching high school. See the name of the organization is Power Move.
Power Move, yeah.
Yeah, and I'm coaching right now. I got ninth grade, but I've coached. I just got high school maybe in 2015, and I was mainly coaching middle school before that.
Okay.
And I wanted to switch it up, so I ended up going coaching some high school, which I feel like gives you a break because the middle school you got to have them all year round.
Yeah.
High school, I send them back in the fall.
Yeah. I go back. Absolutely, man. What is sports giving you that's like stuck with you to this day? What is it giving you?
Work ethic, man. I mean, discipline. All the things I tell people, the closest thing to like real life, like a child's gonna have is if they playing a sport, because you're gonna go through all the emotions that you gotta learn to deal with. You gotta learn to be disciplined. You know what I mean? You gotta work hard at something to be good at it. So a lot of the things that you're going to use in life, you learn through sports. The perseverance, because you're gonna go through some difficult things in life. All those things, man. And my childhood wasn't easy, and sports helped me, get out of Newark. You know what I mean? Get out of the ghetto. Mm-hmm. So that's what I help people get out of it.
Yeah. And I see obviously you're on campus. I don't know if you're over there recruiting or trying to do something over there. I see you on campus now, man. That's good stuff, man. Just some I like to call this putting people on the spot. My next few questions, if that's all right for you, man. If you got a couple more minutes for me.
Yeah, no doubt.
Nah, I appreciate it, man. So when you back up in Jersey, we taking the Parkway, we doing the Turnpike.
Ooh, you say when I come back?
Like when you're in the whip, yeah, you're in the Parkway or the Turnpike.
I'm on the Turnpike, and then I got to jump on the Parkway.
Oh, so we doing both.
Yeah, I got to do both. Unfortunately, that Parkway you forget sometimes how treacherous that joint is.
Yeah.
Till you get back, then you got to put both hands on the wheel.
Nah, absolutely, man. Yeah, you ain't lying about that, man. You are Irvin Turner or Clinton Avenue?
Irvin Turner.
Okay. Now, Bragman's or Cooper's?
Cooper's.
You got if you needed a night out back when, you going to Zanzibar or Sensations?
The crazy thing is, I think I've been to Sensation once. Okay. I've been to Zanzibar a bunch, so it's gonna be Zanzibar.
It's gonna be Zanz. Nah, they're cool, yeah. Cool. So, University or Morgan?
Jesus, man. Can that be a tie?
It's your answer. It's your answer.
Yeah, that's gotta be a tie. University gave me some of the most fun times I ever had, man. Then Morgan was the same, man. Mm-hmm. It was great.
Yeah. Best game you ever played in your life on any level?
Against Georgetown.
Okay.
Allen Iverson and group. I think I had 16 points, 10 rebounds, like 3 blocks. Mm-hmm. We lost, but that was probably the best game, all-around game that I ever played.
Okay.
But like in high school, I mean, I had like almost 40 points or something like that against like North 13th Street Tech, so I ain't counting that.
Yeah. What best team you ever been on?
The best team I ever been on? AAU team or any team?
Any team in your life. What the best team you ever been on?
The best team I ever been on was probably that Mayor's Tournament team with Roderick Rose, me. I want to say D-Rock was on that team.
D-Rock played, okay.
I think that was the best team I ever been on. Yeah, I would go there.
Okay. Someone, I mean, however you want to describe it, somebody who should have made it, whether it's college or pro. And you could define your own definition of made it.
Like made it further. When I can't lie, when I first seen Roger play, I was like, man, that dude, he was probably the best, whatever age he was at that time. I thought he was definitely going to be a long-time NBA dude.
Okay.
you go up to any of the pro leagues, man, you could pick out anybody from those leagues, man. I thought it was a lot of guys. That's when I realized it was going to take me a while to become a pro. I played up there in high school, and I was like, man, I ain't nowhere close to being ready. So, and me, man, I wish things would have turned out different for me, but you know, I think this is a path that was chosen for me.
Yeah. Nah, I appreciate the honesty there, man. Well, how about I'm gonna keep it back in Newark here. Your all Newark team. If you was to have five, your all Newark team.
You can't start an all Newark team without Herman Austin on there.
Yeah, Herman Austin. Okay.
You gotta put like Avon on there.
Okay.
You gotta put who made first team All State. That's tough. I'm going by who made like pros in my era. You gotta put Ira on there because he went to the pros.
Okay.
The best guard in Newark. That was tough. That's tough, man. Did I say Eric Williams?
Nah. Now you just said him, so I don't know.
Yeah, you got to put Eric on there.
So we got Eric. You said Avent, Ira, and Herman. Who else?
Yeah, I need a point guard, man. In my era, I thought Al Ray Blackman was probably one of the best point guards.
Al Ray, yeah. Mm-hmm. Okay.
You know, I mean, people might disagree, but that guy, he was a monster.
Yeah. And I'm gonna give you a six man. Who coming off that bench from Newark?
Coming off the bench, I need another scorer. I gotta go Red's low, man.
Okay.
Red's low this is a toggle, man, because you got Red's can score with anybody, man.
Mm. But it's part of the fun, man. We keep people off. It's part of the fun. That's part of the fun.
You notice I was heavy Shabazz because that's my neighborhood.
Yeah, I saw that. Show you Shabazz heavy on there. It's hard not to. It's hard not to. But if you had what other schools, as far as city schools in Newark, that you enjoyed competing against?
I mean, you got to go with the Newark Tech. I had to go with because we had a lot of rival people that went to Project Link at Science, at Newark Tech, at Arts. So it was like talking a lot of smack playing those games. So, you know, and then I didn't get to play against the other teams. Like I got to play against Shabazz once. So I didn't get a chance to compete. Like Weekway, I think we may have played them one time.
Okay.
So I didn't get a chance to play a lot of the Newark schools. Okay. Unfortunately, because we were the conference we were in, and then when we were independent, we kind of played the Bloomfield Tech. All them schools wasn't that good back in those days.
Now, speaking of university, how proud are you? I mean, you kind of spearheaded a lot of stuff, man. Later on, they got going. Elijah took the helm and kind of got them going. How proud are you of them?
I was super proud. But we did have to talk to like Big Jamil and all them, like to remind them how this all got started.
Yeah.
They seem to forgot. But yeah, they ended up winning Tournament of Champions or something like that. Or,
I know they got in. I'm not sure if they won it, but they was in the hunt. Counties, they did counties, yeah.
And then I think I talked to one of the youngsters that played on that. I think they won back-to-back counties or something like that. One of the young players that played on there. I think he ended up going to, I want to say Virginia or one of them schools. So, but yeah, I was super proud of that, man. Like I said, I always constantly have to remind them, man, they need to go in there and look at them record books.
Absolutely. And now the girls has always got on the run too. They got tough down there too as well. I know.
Man, the girls has always been good.
Yeah.
We used to scrimmage the varsity when I was on JV. Trust me, they always been college girls. So girls always been good.
This is my fan question. I just want to make sure. Now, was Faith Evans, was she there when you were there?
Yeah.
She was there. Okay.
Yep.
That's my fan out question.
Which was crazy when she came down here to do a concert, right? In the middle of the concert, she was like, "Hey, Terrance," like on the microphone while she was singing a song. And everybody looked, was like, how do you know Faith? I'm like, she went to my high school. Like Rosalind Noble, Reggie Noble, Redman's sister. Yeah.
Right.
All like we had a few people, celebrities that went to obviously your mayor.
Yeah, that Roz went there, yes.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So
And that's why I told you my cousin went there. Like she was that was her prom day. That was her prom day, her senior year, Roz.
Hey,
Yeah,
what's her name? What's her name? No, I'm joking.
Man, I'm afraid, man, I don't need to know nothing. I don't need to know. Yeah, but nah, good stuff. And two more, and I'll leave you alone, man. I know you standing and talking to me, man.
That's all good.
What's the best part about being Terrance Hunter?
The best part to me is just I'm still here. I'm alive. Like I don't know if a lot of people notice. I had a heart attack 2 years ago, man, and wasn't taking care of myself as well as I should, stressing, and I made it through. So I'm taking a lot better care of myself now. So I'm happy to be here, and then happy to give back. So the coaching, I'm actually able to see people fulfill their dreams. So that right there is the best part about me now.
Nah, good stuff, and definitely I'm glad that you're here to talk, man. And what advice would you give that 17-year-old senior year Terrance Hunter? What advice would you give him now?
The advice I would give him now is I would probably talk about being more patient.
Okay.
You know what I mean? Because I think how I thought things would go versus how they were really going was two different things. I actually, things were happening better for me than I thought in my own head. I think if I would have been a little more patient back in them days, I'm 17, so most people ain't gonna be patient, but I think that's what I would have gave, the advice I would have gave.
Yeah, nah, thank you, man. And I just want to say this before we both bounce, man. I just wanted to say thank you. And the reason I say thank you is just kind of like, I just remember you just, for me, coming on the scene, so to speak, man, I was like, man, who is this guy? And man, again, you jumped into the conference that we were in, myself, I'm just like, man, you just giving it to us, as far as the work. It just obviously just led me to just continue to just follow your moves or what have you there, man. And it's just interesting, like just hearing your story, man. You just talk about mom just giving you that ball, and from there you just see where it took you. And I just think, man, like a lot of us can kind of share similar or same experiences of that. But and just you being humble throughout this whole conversation, like I wasn't that good or this and that good. Let me tell you, yes, you were. You were that good. I'll speak for you. I
appreciate that, man. I appreciate that.
I'll speak for you. And I just say, just thank you, man. Just kind of just giving me and everybody else the thrills to watch you and to see you grow, what have you, man. And just even to hear about, whether it was Wagner to, Morgan, where you at, to what you're doing now, coaching, and you never let no setback get to you, man. I mean, just hearing you just this brief time here, man. And I think that just epitomizes, who you are. You that Jersey boy, you that Nork head, man. You that guy, man. And like I said, indirectly, you being officially you help it be officially it, man. And like I said, I just want to say thank you. I really appreciate it, man. I really appreciate it.
Thank you for the kind words, man. I appreciate that, man. Thanks for having me on, man. It's a great format, man. I love it, man. Hearing the stories is cracking me up, man.
Good stuff, man. And like I said, man, like I got a sports family, man, and all you guys are part of it, whether it's I know you directly or indirectly, man. I've enjoyed it, from even before our time and even the young girls and guys now, man. I enjoy so thank you, man. And like I said, I know you're sitting there with a backpack, a laptop, everything in your hand, man. I want you to fall apart there, something come
working,
out.
Baby.
Absolutely. It's a small world, man, and definitely, man. Definitely, you never know as far as our paths across, man. But thanks again, man. I appreciate it.
All right, man. If you need anything, hit me up, man.
Thank you. I'll keep that in mind. I might hold you to that. So
okay.
All right, that's what it is, man. Be well.
All right, peace.
All right, peace. Good stuff. This is why I do this, man. Just to hear stories and just how humble, he came off and is. It's just like that's why I just enjoyed it. Sometimes I don't be having too much to say on the back end here, man. Thank you to everybody, man. This has just been great. It's been fun. It's been a blast. And hopefully I can continue to do this and just run into some more people and do what I do. So with that being said, I put my hand over my heart. That means I feel you. Yeah.